all my grips and handles ranked. Hi, I'm Jonathan Pritchard with Theology, Geek, Fitness, and in this video, I'm going to go through the 10 different grips or handles type pieces of equipment that I have used in my own training and rank them from my least favorite to most favorite. So starting off at number 10 is the Eurovicky Most Grips. They're one of those Angles 90 knockoffs. They're fine. I talked about it in a prior video when I compared Angles 90 to its knockoffs. And I really liked the concept behind the Angles 90 grips. And so back then I didn't want to spend as much money as they were charging for it. They've since come down on the price, but probably in the face of all these imitators. But for whatever reason, I just picked up the cheapest version I could find. And it was those. And, you know, it is okay. But after comparing it to the real deal, I was not very impressed with it. So that would be number 10. Number 9 is going to be the Kinsui Swissies 45. The Swissies are brilliant. Don't get me wrong. But my least favorite, and the one that I did not use very often, was the Swissies 45. Now, I have a straight bar. I have a preference for straight bars, you know, because you can add all these types of different handle options to them. So I don't like to use pull-up bars that have like the neutral grip handles or whatever. I like to have a straight bar, including the doorway pull-up bars that are just straight bars. So you can use these things, but the Swissies 45, I just never really used them a whole lot. I did it to vary up, you know, my pull-up grips, and I got those at the same time that I got the original Swissies. But you know, I just neutral grip, you know, supinated, pronated, that seemed to be fine. The Swissies 45 added where you could do it supinated, pronated, depending on how you arranged them, and it gave you a lot of different options. But it was like, still at the same time, it's like, well, I also had the Eurovicky Most Grip, and I had another pair of imitators, and I had the Swissies 360-degree grips, and I was like, I'm not really getting a whole lot more out of the Swissies 45 that I was getting out of anything else. So that would be my number 9. Number 8 is going to be the original Kinsui Swissies. These things are great. You know, they gave you neutral grip on the pull-up bar. You could use them on barbells. You could use them. I thought they were probably the best thing to use for resistance band handles that I had used, and I'd used the Clinch Fitness handle and a lot of the J-Hooks ones. But since I don't really use handles on a whole lot of exercises anyway, and most people I imagine buying Swissies don't care that much about how good they work with resistance bands anyway, you know, it doesn't score a whole lot of points since I only did like 2 or 3 exercises with handles using the Swissies. So, you know, for biceps, curls, shrugs, things like that. They were great for that. They were great for neutral grip. They were, you know, great for hooking around a barbell, but I don't use a barbell, but you can do it. But it just, you know, as innovative and cool as the idea was, yeah, that would be my number 8. My number 7 would be the Swissies version 2, the 60. I like these a lot better than the 45. I can't tell you why, except for the version 2 was a pretty significant improvement over the original Swissies, and why they went with a 60-degree instead of a 45 for the alternate angles, I don't know, but it just, I liked it. I liked the fact that you could attach it to, you know, cable machines and stuff like that with the version 2 model. Same with the just the regular Swissies version 2. The opening was a little bit wider, so you could hook them around bars of various lengths, and it still functioned the same. So it was a great design. I had the padding on the inside. So the version 2 60s, improvement over the original Swissies and Swissies 45, but not quite as cool as the Swissies version 2, which, while they didn't make as great of a resistance band handle as the original Swissies, the Swissies version 2, you know, I just, the way that you can use that for the neutral grip, the way that you can use it as handles, attaching them to cable machines and stuff, I just thought it was genius. It was as cool as the Swissies are, that was an even bigger jump in the innovation and development, taking it to the next level. So the Swissies version 2, I thought that would be my number 6. So that's kind of in the middle here. Number 5 is going to be the Swissies version 2 Max. There's something unique about those fin handles that I just really liked. Plus, it had all the wonderful features of the Swissies, where you can hook it to a cable machine, or you can just use it for neutral grip pull-ups or whatever. And I just thought it was a neat change of pace, and there's something about the activation you get from from that. I just thought it hit a little different, as the kids would say. It just hits different. So props to Kinsui on that. I thought that was a really great set of grips or handles or whatever you want to call it. So that would be right there, number 5. Number 4 is going to be the Kinsui 360-degree grips. I probably prefer the feel, as I mentioned in a prior video, of the wood over that hard nylon, but I like the fact that it doesn't have the cam buckle strap on the nylon that it does on the wood. So those are kind of like, I would just prefer to have that type of grip, that just kind of rotates and follows your normal movement pattern. These came out after the Angles 9A grips, but it kind of had that same type of thing. And by the way, you can get now, for all those Swissies, you can get that same types of things. You can get little things to angle, modify the angles on the Swissies. You can just get those little straps to turn it essentially into the 360 grips. But I just like the way the 360 grips are made. The nylon ones are, they have the strap that's just the same length. You can't adjust the strap, but you don't have to deal with the cam buckle and line up both handles the way you had to do that on the wooden version of the 360 grips. But I always just preferred that style of grip over the static Swissies for some reason. I mean, that style is not really great for trying to use them as handles for resistance bands or anything, but I just preferred that style more than the Swissies. So I would use them, but one of the things about the design of the handle on those 360-degree grips is that you can't really do any dips with it either. So, which you can't do dips with Swissies. So, it's all kind of balances out there, but you'd have to get something like the Nano Bars version 2, because you could do dips on that. That's Kinsui's newest suspension trainer, and the handles for that you can use for dips. But the 360-degree grips didn't work for that. They were just kind of pull-ups or for pulling movements mostly. So while I preferred them to the Swissies for the functions that they could do, they weren't quite as well rounded. So number 3 is going to be the double circle pull-up handles, which are admittedly an imitation or a knockoff of the Kinsui 360 grips, but better because they're wood, so they have that really great feel, a little bit larger, so more room for your hands in there, and they don't have cam buckle straps, so it's just the same length strap that, you can't adjust it, but you didn't really need to, and it doesn't have the hassle of the Kinsui 360-degree grips with the cam buckle. So it was kind of like the best of both versions of the Kinsui 360-degree grips. So that's why I put the double circle pull-up handles, even though it's a knockoff product, it's the best of what I liked about the two different options of Kinsui in one product. So it's going to obviously have to take the number 3 slot ahead of the Kinsui 360-degree grips. Number 2 is going to be those Instar grips. I mean, they were almost as high quality as, they were just right there, almost with the Angles 9E. And yeah, they don't sell them anymore. And there's probably some reasons behind that I don't know what happens behind the scenes, but they were almost identical. They had some slight differences. I did not like the fact that they had longer straps than the Eurovicky Most Grip or the double circle pull-up handles or the 360-degree grips. but they were that kind of style. You know, like the Angles 90, you know, you could do pull-ups, you could do dips. The grip was comfortable. You know, had all that going for it. Had that style where it's just, you know, free motion, unlike the Swissies type things. So those Instar grips were great, and there's some reason why you can't get them anymore. Probably may have something to do with, you know, lawsuits and things. I don't know, but it was really close to the Angles 90. And number one, I've got to go with the Angles 90. And I wish I would have just bit the bullet back when they were more expensive, because like I said, I like that style of grip where it's not static for pull-ups, or even if you're attaching these types of grips to my sandbag, you know, for shrugs or something like that. The Angles 90, they innovated this whole thing. Whether you're getting the rotation modifiers for the Swissies to make them function like Kinsui's own 360-degree grips, or you're talking about the, you know, the 360-degree grips themselves that are, you know, they function in a similar way as the, you know, Angles 90, but you can't do dips on them because of the way the handle is closed off. Angles 90 just nailed it. And because they were the innovators of that, you know, free natural range of motion when you're doing pull-ups or even any kind of pulling movements, you can set them up to where you can do dips off of them. You can treat them like gym rings, where, you know, unlike the double circle pull-up handles or the Kinsui 360-degree grips, where you can't do dips on them, you can get your hands on these things to do dips without any part of the thing in your way. The way that you can set the handle up with the slots. So you can do dips with the Angles 90. The pull-ups are the most comfortable. You can still, you know, you're using carabiners to attach the Swissies version 2 and version 2 Max to cable machines, which, okay, Angles 90 was using carabiners to attach it to its own sling trainer or to cable machines to use as a handle in the gym, unless you were attaching it to like a lat pull-down bar or something. So Angles 90, just, they were the OG. They were the geniuses behind this type of thing, you know, for these kind of grips. Garbage for using them as handles for loop bands, but most people don't care about that, including myself, since I don't use handles for loop bands. But you can use them as handles for tube bands. You know, I went through that in a recent review where I reviewed their Angles 90's tube bands as part of their leg day set that they sell. But yeah, Angles 90, they were the OGs. They nailed it. It's number one. Yeah, I like them better than the Swissies, all of them. Pick your version. I like it better than the double circle pull-up handles that imitated the Kinsui 360-degree grips. I mean, it's certainly higher quality than the typical knockoff, the Eurovicky Most Grip, whatever that was, and it even edged out the Instar grips, which were almost identical to it, except with a longer strap and a little bit of grippy stuff on the handle, but didn't really add anything. So yeah, Angles 90, when it comes to grips and handles for the, you know, use as an accessory for your calisthenics pull-ups, or if you want to attach them to bars for deadlifts. I mean, yeah, you can do that with Swissies too, but I'm sorry, Angles 90, they nailed it. It's the original. It's the best. So that's my number one. So those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments. Do you have any handles that, you know, are in this same kind of wheelhouse that I haven't taken a look at, that you think is better than any of the ones I mentioned? Do you disagree? Do you like the Swissies for what they are, being static and having the option to add the rotators? I guess you could make an argument with the version 2 that, you know, they can get you a lot of what Angles 90 can, but Angles 90 can get you dips, whereas none of the Swissies can. So I think if pull-ups are your favorite exercise like they're mine, and dips are your second favorite exercise like they are mine, Angles 90, clear winner. Plus you can attach it to bars and, you know, for barbells and all kinds of other stuff too. Cable machines, whatever. Angles 90 does it all. It's the best one in my opinion, but let me know what your opinion is in the comments.